Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to day 2 of the 2D geometry unit. I'm excited to continue where we left off. Last time we were talking about angle relationships, and we looked at 4 different types of angles, and then we started to find the missing value of a given angle. Okay, and so we're going to continue that today, just taking it a little further, a little deeper. Okay, and so I'm going to start by just recapping what we covered in last lesson. All right, and so what we saw in last lesson, was that vertical angles are congruent. Okay, actually I want to use a different color so it stands out. Vertical angles are congruent. Okay, and congruent just means that they are equal. Okay, so vertical angles are congruent. Okay, and vertical angles are usually they're opposite of each other. So when 2 lines intersect, the angles that are opposite are congruent, they are equal. Okay, angles that share a common vertex and a common side are called adjacent angles. Okay, when they share a common vertex and a common side, they are adjacent angles. Okay. Actually, let me draw some little pictures here okay, again, this is angle A and angle B. In this case, they are equal, right? So angle A is equal to angle B, all right? And then adjacent angles is when, again, you got angle A, angle B. These are adjacent because they share that side. They share this point right there, and then they also share this side right there. Okay, so that's what makes them adjacent. All right, continue on. The measure of complementary angles, and this is super important for you to know, is 90 degrees. So when 2 angles are complementary, they add up to give you 90 degrees. So angle A plus angle B, when they're complementary, is they add up to give you 90 degrees. Okay. Also, you need to remember that whenever an angle has that little square in it, that means that it is a right angle, meaning it is 90 degrees. Next point is the measure of a supplementary angle. A supplementary angle is 180 degrees. Okay, so when 2 angles are supplementary, angle A plus angle B equals 180 degrees. All right, and when there are 2 adjacent angles that make a straight line, so 2 adjacent angles that add up to give you 180, these are called a linear pair. Okay, linear pair. Okay, 2 angles, adjacent supplementary angles that add up to make a line. All right, so that is what we covered last time. Okay, and now really quickly, you should be able to do this on your own, this next part. So I would like for you to, I'm going to show you the first one, and then I'd love for you to do the second, third, and fourth rows of this box on your own, because, you know, if you can do this, it will certainly help you kind of moving forward. So I want you to imagine that I'm given this angle. I have to find the complement of that angle. I also have to find the supplement of that angle, and then what would be the vertical angle. So here's what we're doing to complete this table. Okay, so if I have this angle, the complement of this angle is, again, remember, it adds up to give me 90. So I just have to say, what plus 43 gives me 90? Well, I could set up an equation to do that, right? I could say, you don't write this down, but I could say, you know, x plus 43 equals 90, right? And then do the inverse operation, which is to subtract. Okay, so all you need to know is if these need to add up to give me 90, all I have to do is take 90 and subtract that from it. So 90 minus 43. Okay, now you can write this down. 90 minus 43, and that is going to give me 47. Okay, so the complement for that would be 47. The supplement, okay, supplement supplementary or supplemental angles. Supplementary angles are when two angles add up to give you 180. Okay, so I need to say, okay, what plus 43 would give me 180? Well, to do that, again, all I would need to do is just the opposite. I just got to subtract 43 from 180. Okay, so 180 minus 43, and that will give me my supplementary angle, which is 137. Okay, so 137 degrees would be the angle that would be supplementary to 43. And then if you had this angle 43 and there was another angle that was vertical, which was opposite, which again, remember, vertical angles are congruent. Just gonna write this little note here. Okay, they're opposite, but they are opposite and congruent. All right, so 43, the angle that was opposite of that, it would also be 43 degrees. All right, so this is how you have found this. All right, so now the rest of the chart's a little different, but you now just have the complement, and now you have to go from the complement to the angle, and you can do the rest of them. Okay, so yeah, so you can try to do this on your own. If you're like, no, I'm not sure how to continue to fill in the table, you can continue watching. All right, so for the complement, okay, the complement is 51, so I know 51 plus some number is going to give me 90. Okay, so how do I figure out what that number is? Well, I just got to subtract 51 from it, right? So 90 minus 51 would give me the angle here. Okay, so 90 minus 51 is 39. Okay, so 39 degrees is the angle. Again, I took 90 and subtracted 51 to figure out, okay, so 39 plus 51 gives me 90. All right, so now that I have my angle, this minus 180, okay, because again, supplementary angles adds up to give you 180. So if it have a supplementary, I'm doing 180 minus, technically, so I'm sorry, I want to do 180 minus 51 because this is the angle that I want to find the supplement for. Okay, so the supplemental angle for 51 would be 180 minus 51, okay, and that's going to give me 129 degrees, okay, so 129 degrees, all right, and so then if I have an angle that's 51, what angle is a vertical angle to that, right? You know what? I'm sorry. I've done that wrong. Okay. So when this is the complement. Again, this is the angle that we're working with. So we want to figure out, okay, what is the supplemental angle to the 39? Okay. So the 39 is what we're going to be dealing with here. Okay. So instead, I want to do the 180 minus the 39. Sorry about that. And that is going to give me the supplementary angle to this angle right here. All right. So 180 minus 39, and that gives me 141 degrees. All right. So now, if this is my angle, okay, what angle is vertical? It's opposite of that. It would be 39, right? Because again, when the angle is vertical, it is congruent, it is equal, all right? So now I have been given the supplementary angle is 162, so now I gotta figure out, okay, what is this angle? If the supplement is 162, well, what I gotta do is I know that this plus the angle is gonna give me 180, right? So what I gotta do here is take the 180 and subtract the 162 from it, and that is going to give me what my angle is. Okay, so 180 minus 162, that gives me 18, okay, degrees. So my angle is 18 degrees. Okay, now I got to find what is the complement of an angle of this angle, 18-degree angle. All right, so the complement is gonna, again, this adds up to equal 90. So I'm gonna do 90 minus the 18, and that is gonna give me the complement, which is 62 degrees. Sorry, not 62, 72. 72 degrees. All right. And then what is the vertical angle away from that? So if this is 18, what angle would be opposite of that? It would be 18 degrees. All right. Now let's move on and let's finish this out. If the vertical angle is 13, then the angle is also 13, right? Because those are congruent, they're opposites, they're equal, right? Now to find the complement, I would take is this plus the complement that would give me 90. Okay, so I'm just going to do 90 minus 13, and that gives me the complement, which in this case is 77 degrees. Okay, and then to find the supplement, I'm taking this and I'm subtracting it from the 180, because 180 is what two supplementary angles add up to give you, minus the 13, and that is going to give me what the supplemental angle is, and it is 167 degrees. All right. So this is, again, I know that took a little while to do, but again, it's simple. The angle, to find the complementary angle, you're just, it's that what adds up to give you 90. So just subtract it to find the missing one. When you find the angle and you have the angle and you're trying to find the supplementary angle, you are subtracting it from 180 to figure out, okay, what adds up to, to give you 180. And then the vertical angles are just the opposite. All right. So yeah, complementary add up to give you 90, supplementary add up to give you 180, and then opposite, the verticals are just opposite and congruent. All right. Now to move on to the new stuff today. Okay. So last time we were looking at missing angles, and we are looking at missing angles, but this time there's a variable in there, okay? And so it's been a little while since we've done, 1 and 2 step equations, but we have done this, and so it's just really, this is not a new concept, but we're just using this, and we are having to solve an equation to figure out what the angle is, okay? So let's set up this problem right here. Okay, so letter A, it says you have these two angles, right? 5x minus 8 and then 43, okay? And so these two, you should know what type of angles are these. These are complementary, okay? They're complementary because, right, this box right here tells me that those two angles add up to give you 90, okay? So this angle plus that angle equals 90. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write that equation. 5x minus 8 plus 43, and that equals 90. Okay, again, where did the 90 come from? It was because this box is there. It lets me know that those two angles together equal 90. And so now I have to solve in this equation. All right, solve for the x. So I'm going to start by combining the like terms, which are here. Okay, so negative 8 and 43. So I'm just essentially subtracting those. So 43 minus 8, all right, is giving me 35. Again, you could put this in decimals, negative 8 plus 43. But again, it's going to give you 35, and that 35 is a positive. Okay, so we got 5x plus 35 equals 90. Okay, and so now what do? Well, after I combine the like terms, I'm just going to do the inverse operation. Okay, so I'm trying to get this x by itself. So I'm going to, instead of adding 35, I'm going to subtract 35. Subtract 35. That cancels. Now I have 5x equals 90 minus 35. That is 55. Okay, and then once I get here, I am going to do the inverse operation, which is to divide by 5. Divide by 5. The 5's cancel, leaving me with x equals 11. So x equals 11. And so what I would do if I was asking, it wants us to just solve for x. But if I wanted to figure out what the angle would be, and I can actually, I'll do this for the first one, won't do it for all of them. But I take this and I substitute the 11 in for the x. Okay, so 5 times 11 minus 8. Okay, so 5 times 11 would be 55. 55 minus 8 is going to give me 40. I'm sorry, 50. What did I say? 55 minus 8. Yeah, 47. Okay, and then just to prove that this is right, 47 plus 43, that gives me 90. So I know my answer is correct. All right. So in solving this, all you're doing is just setting up your equation, based on, the information given, and which is, in this case, they were complementary. So that's how I knew that those two angles together equal 90. All right. Let's look at the next one. The next one, you have, these are two adjacent supplementary angles, okay? And they make this linear pair. So I have 149 and I have 13x plus 5, okay? And so I know these are supplementary, and because they are supplementary, they add up to give me 180. So 149 plus 13x plus 5 is going to give me 180. So plus the 149 equals 180. All right. So this, again, these two angles together, they add up. I'm adding them here, and it's giving me 180, right? Because they make this straight line. All right. So to solve this, I just combine the like terms. Okay. Combining this 5 plus the 149, that's going to give me 154 plus 13x equals 180. Okay, and I want you to pause it real quick and see if you can just solve this equation on your own. Okay, all you got to do is to do the inverse operation. So do that and then see if you can get the right answer. All right, so to solve this, I'm going to do the inverse operation, which is to subtract the 154 to both sides. This cancels, leaving me with 13x equals 180 minus 154, and that is 26, okay? And so then, once I get here, 13x, or 13 times x equals 26. I'm going to divide by 13. Divide by 13, that's the inverse operation. That cancels, leaving me with x equals 26 divided by 13. It is 2. So the answer is 2 there. Okay. If I wanted to check my answer, which, again, you know what? I'll do it for this one too. X equals 2. Again, say I put in 2 for x. 13 plus 2, that's going to give me 26. 26 plus 5, that gives me 31, okay? So 149 plus 31, again, that equals 180, so it shows me that that is correct. All right, and then for the last type of problem that you could see, okay, these are vertical angles. And so what do we know about vertical angles? This one's a little different, but what do we know about vertical angles? Well, we know that they are equal to each other. So what am I going to do? I'm going to set this equal to that. So 6x minus 19 equals 3x plus 32. Okay, so I have them equal to each other. Okay, now I have to solve for the x. This time, when we have variables on both sides, we got to move the x to one side. And I like to move it to the side that has the greater number of x's. Okay, so 6x and 3x, I'm going to move this 3x over to this 6x. And I do so by doing the inverse, which is just subtracting it, because I'm adding it here, but I'm going to subtract it over here. Okay, so subtract 3x, that cancels. 6x minus 3x is going to give me 3x. Now I'm just bringing everything down. Minus 19 equals 32. Okay. Now I'm going to do the inverse operation to solve for the x. Plus 19 plus 19. That cancels, leaving me with 3x equals 32 plus 19. And that is 51. Okay. And so then 3x, I'm going to divide by 3. 3's cancel, leaving me with x equals 51 divided by 3, 17. And so I have x equals 17. Right. Now, again, I could take this, substitute it in, and that will show me that my answer is correct. All right, but there you go. All right, so these are not super easy problems. You know, these are pretty some complex problems, but you can do it. Again, the key is knowing. All right, complementary, supplementary equals 90 equals 180, and then vertical equals each other. All right, so I got a couple problems for us to practice. Okay, so I want you to solve these on your own. Solve these on your own. Try to set it up. Again, guys, please use your notes. We just did an example for each of these, okay? And so this is your time to kind of practice. Follow the steps that we just went through. And the only way to do this is to do some practice and to do it yourself. So do that yourself. The next couple questions are all on your own. Once you're done, raise your hand, all right? If you have questions, go back, rewatch the parts where I was, setting it up. Look at them, because all of them, again, they have an example that we have done. All right. So we're gonna do more practice with this. Again, you can do it. I believe in you. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. Peace.